Good afternoon, class. Everybody come in and find a seat. Welcome. I hope everybody's day has been going good so far. On your desk, you're going to notice that there's geoboards and attribute blocks. We worked with these before. There's one at everybody's desk. There's also the rubber bands. We're going to use these today in our lesson. It's going to help you kind of follow along with me, and I'll let you know what we're doing here in just a minute. But everybody go ahead and find a seat. Make sure you have a geoboard. Make sure you have the materials you need. Go ahead and get ready for class. Good morning. Okay, so today for our warm-up, before we get going, I have a little fun activity planned for us. So this last week, we've been working on shapes, right? All about shapes for the entire week. You know a lot about them. You know what vertices are. You know some of the attributes that make up shapes. And we have a pretty good understanding, what a shape is, right? So to begin, what we're going to do is something pretty fun. We're going to stand up. Everybody stand up. And let's see how many shapes we can make with our body, okay? Get a little blood flow, we're gonna get loose. Okay, we're gonna stand up. All right, what is this right here? Triangle, very good. What about this? A circle, that's as close to a circle as we can make. Does anybody else have one? Let's go. Who's got one? Who's got one? Right here, Josh, what do you got? A square, that's pretty good. Yeah, anybody else? The other ones are kind of hard. I guess we can maybe do some with our hands. What is this one? What would you call this one? A triangle? No, it's a rectangle. We can actually make a better triangle with our fingers. Anybody got any other ones? No? All right. Went over some shapes. We're all warmed up. So today for our actual lesson, it's going to be over shapes again. Something that you're all familiar with and that we've worked with. Today we will be composing and decomposing two-dimensional shapes. Can anybody tell me what decomposing or composing means? Anybody have any idea? So if we were to compose something, that would mean we would make something, we would build something, we would put something together with given attributes. An attribute is like an item that this object must have. So if we were decomposing something, what would we be doing? We'd be taking it apart. Very good. So composing is building up and decomposing is taking down or breaking up into pieces. So we've worked on all the different shapes. This is going to be something new. We're going to go slow. We'll work on it for a couple days and I'll make sure that you all, understand it. So can anybody tell me, if I was to draw this right here on the board, right here, can anybody list some attributes? We worked on this yesterday. Can anybody list some attributes of this square? What would be a few attributes? Is it round? No, it does have straight edges. It has four edges that make up. How many vertices does this square have? 4, right? Good job. That's what we worked on yesterday. Y'all remember? How many sides does it have? How many sides does the square have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. So we remember some of the attributes and stuff that make up some shapes. Does anybody remember, can y'all name some attributes of this shape right here? We worked on it yesterday. Some attributes of this shape right here. How many vertices does it have? Let's see. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 sides. I made those marks just so it's easier for you to see. How many vertices would this have? Well, let's count. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 vertices. We already said we had 6 sides. So that's 2 different attributes that make up a hexagon. Very good. Okay, so at your desk, using your geoboards, see if you can create a shape that has 3 vertices and 3 sides. Okay, I'll give you just a minute. Using your geoboards, create a shape that has 3 vertices and 3 sides. What shape would have 3 vertices and 3 sides? I'm going to draw on the board. I'm going to show you in just a minute what the answer is, and we're going to check and make sure everybody is following along. So go ahead and create it. 3 vertices and 3 sides. Would anybody like to share? Susan, what do you think it is? No, it's not a rectangle. Let's go, how How many vertices does a rectangle have? As a class, real quick, we'll go over it. A rectangle has 1, 2, 3, 4. A rectangle has 4. So it can be a rectangle. Let's try again. 3 vertices and 3 sides. Josh, you got the answer? Let's see. What do you got? A triangle. Very good. So a triangle was the correct answer. Could you have done your triangle like this? Yes. Could you have done your triangle like this? Yes, because they're all still triangles. These are the same things that we worked on before. Every one of these has 3 vertices and 3 sides. Very good. Okay. Now, on your geoboards, we're going to do 2 more of these. Can you create a shape on your geoboards that has 4 vertices and 4 sides? Now, there could be multiple answers to this one, okay? 4 vertices and 4 sides. I'll draw a couple answers on here. It's all shapes that we worked with. 4 vertices and 4 sides. We should all know this one. This one should be pretty easy. All right, let's see. Who have I not called on yet? Who would like to share? Jack, what do you got? 4 vertices and 4 sides. A square. Very good. Here's a square. Let's check. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 vertices and how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sides and 4 vertices. Very good. Does anybody have a different answer? That's not a square. A different answer. Jada. Yes, a rectangle. That was the other answer I was thinking about also. A rectangle. Let's check just to make sure. Here we go. Vertices. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sides is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Does anybody see a pattern? Have y'all picked up on a pattern? About the number of vertices and the number of sides? Some of these attributes that make up these 2-dimensional shapes? They're the same. Have y'all caught on to that yet? They're the same. So a square has 4 vertices and 4 sides. A rectangle has 4 vertices and 4 sides. Now I'm going to throw you a curveball. Let's see if y'all been paying attention. Can anybody draw me a shape that has 0 vertices and 0 sides? This one's going to be hard to do on your geoboard, but go ahead and think about it real quick. 0 vertices and 0 sides. 0 vertices, well, think about it for a second. 0 vertices and 0 sides. Probably won't be able to do this on your geoboards, but there might be, the answer might be in one of the attribute blocks. 0 vertices and 0 sides. Is it this? No. Is it this? No. What about this? Yes, very good. Because a circle doesn't have, there's no sides on the circle and there's no vertices either. That's crazy. Very good, guys. Very good. Okay, so I think we got how to create different shapes. We touched base on a couple. We'll go over some more tomorrow. Those are the main ones I wanted to go over today. Y'all are pretty good about creating shapes with given attributes. Now what we're going to do, we've composed them. Now we're going to learn how to decompose. What did I say decompose was earlier? Breaking down. We're going to break down some of these shapes, okay? So we're going to go with something pretty basic. Let's start with a square. I think everybody seems to understand the square. Okay? So, does anybody have any ideas of how we could break down this square? In a previous lesson before, we actually talked about cutting them in half or in fours, and this could be something very similar. Is there any other shape that can be made out of this square? Any other shape that you think we could cut it anyway and we could create more shapes out of just this square? What if I did this? What if I did this? I cut it right in half. What will we have? 2 rectangles. Look, here's 1. Here's 2. There's 2 rectangles. Do you see that? You see how we just broke that? So then, if we drew that out to the side, it would look like this. right? So we have two rectangles that came out of the square. Okay, inside of the square, let's try something a little bit harder, okay? Oh, that's a rectangle. Sorry, guys. Inside of this square, what other shapes how else could we break this apart and create some other shapes? What if we did this? What do we have? Go ahead and do this on your geoboards. Go ahead, create a square, and then draw or put a line all the way down, diagonal right down it, okay? Just like I did. All right, go ahead and do it on your geoboards. And then what if we were to cover this side up? What shape is that? It's a triangle. Who knew that there was two triangles can make up a square? You see that? That's kind of crazy, huh? You want to see something even more crazy? Watch this. Now what do we have? Now we just broke the square down into fours, and we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 triangles that just came out of this one square. Pretty cool, huh? So if you actually get your attribute blocks, go ahead and find 4 triangles. It'll look something like this. Something like this. Okay, go ahead and find 4 and then push them together. And when you push the 4 triangles together, it's going to create a square. That's pretty cool, huh? Okay, so we learned how to break down a square. What about a rectangle? Can we break a rectangle down? Think about what we just did with the square. It's pretty similar. The rectangle, what if we cut it in half? It's just opposite of the square. Now we have 2 squares. So on your geoboards, go ahead and make a rectangle, and I'm going to let you try to figure out what else you can do. How else can we decompose a rectangle? On your geoboards, go ahead and make it on your geoboard, make a rectangle. It doesn't matter the size. And see if you can figure out what else we can do to decompose this shape even more. All right, let's see here, guys. So we have a rectangle. Can somebody give me an idea of what they did? Okay, so you put a line down and then you put a line across. Huh, looky there. What do we got here? Now we have 4 rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We have 4. That's awesome. And if we had a smaller rectangle, we could even turn them into 4 squares. You see that? It just kind of depends on the size. But on yours right there, that would be 4 rectangles. Very good. Anybody have anything different? Anything different on the rectangle? What if, did anybody do this right here? Oh, sorry, my line's supposed to be straight. But you can see it right there. Did anybody do that right there? What do you have? 2 triangles. Very good. And then just like the square, we cut it again. What do we have? 4 triangles. Very good. Y'all are catching on. So do you see how we are breaking these shapes down? We are decomposing these shapes and creating new shapes. We're putting shapes together to create one. So today we learned how to compose them, and we also learned how to decompose them. Let's try one more. What about a triangle? What can we do to a triangle to decompose it into more shapes? This one's a little bit tougher. Go ahead and draw it on your geoboards. Go ahead and use your rubber band and create it on your geoboards. And I'm going to give you a second. This one's a little bit harder. Can we do this? No, neither one of those are shapes that we're looking for. We're going to get into that later. What if we did this? What does that create? If we went right down, go ahead and try it on your geoboards. Creates 2 triangles. Now, you're probably thinking, what did you do a second ago? Because it was 2 shapes. It is. If you look right here, this has 5 sides. We've not quite got to that shape yet, okay? We're going to go over that later this week. But this does create a triangle, so you're not wrong, all right? All right, how about, here's the last one. What about a circle? We can do a lot with a circle, okay? So go ahead and draw on your geoboard, actually, use your attribute blocks and just trace lines very lightly and see what we can. You can go ahead and draw on the attribute blocks with a pencil and see what shapes you can create out of a triangle. Go ahead, let's see. What about this? What do we have? A half circle. Not quite got to that. That was a very good answer. What about this? Well, now we have 4s. Now we have a pizza. So circles are a little bit different, okay? They don't decompose as well as the other shapes. But y'all did very good today. You did very good. Today you learned how to decompose and compose shapes. with given attributes. You all remember the vertices and the number of sides very well. I'm very proud of you. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a worksheet, and you have, I believe it's 6 questions. You have 6 questions to complete before class is over, okay? It's over the same stuff. If you have any questions, raise your hands. I'll come around. You can use your geo boards, and you can use your attribute blocks to help you, okay? Thank you very much.